Diamond Niners Weekly, week 5 of the 2021 season. We are back on the air talking all things Charlotte 49ers baseball. As always, this is Nick. Now I'm joined by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Live from the Hayes, Coach Woody.
Everybody.
And producer Brad.
Hey.
All right, guys. We're a day later, but we're here. The question of the day is, what NCAA tournament? Who gives a crap about the NCAA tournament? We're talking baseball. We have a baseball series to play this weekend. We're going to have live baseball on the field starting tomorrow, 1:30 p.m., live in downtown Charlotte. So NCAA tournament, who cares? Let's jump right in. We've got breaking news. Speaking of live baseball, we start off things tomorrow down at Truist. I'm getting that name right, Kevin, right? Truist Ballpark.
No, Truist Field.
Truist Field, formerly BB&T. We've got games tomorrow, a doubleheader starting at 1:30 against. Don't check your schedule because it might say College of Charleston. It's the Rhode Island Rams. We have it on good authority that the Rhode Island Rams are on a bus right now. Heck, they're probably tuning into this show to scout the opponent. Hey, guys, hope everything's going well out there on I-85. So the Rhode Island Rams are rolling in here for a doubleheader tomorrow, which will be downtown, and then we'll be back on campus Sunday at the Hayes against Rhode Island. Next Tuesday, because you can never play in too many minor league ballparks, the very first game at Atrium Health Ballpark in downtown Kannapolis against the App State Mountaineers. That game going on Tuesday. So all this news is kind of broken kind of recently, and it's been an interesting, let's call it 24 hours. So Coach Woody, walk us through it. Let's talk about this stuff happening.
Yeah, no, it's good to see you guys, and I'm sorry about yesterday, but in the world we live in, things can change and unchange and change again at the drop of a hat. And, it's just a reminder that for myself and our coaching staff that, we just always try to stay prepared for whatever shakes out, and whichever situation, whatever hand we're dealt, we try to play to the best of our ability, and we try to make the most of a situation. So unfortunately, earlier this week, we found out that College of Charleston was going to be unable to play, which was very disappointing because it's a great club. I've known Coach Holbrook for a long time. He actually was a recruiting coordinator at UNC and recruited me to play college baseball a long time ago. And so he and I go way back to my high school days. And obviously, with us playing at Truist Field, we were excited to play there. And so when College of Charleston, called and said they couldn't make it, unfortunately, we're looking at Wednesday. We didn't have an opponent, and here we go. Email blast every Division I college coach in the country. When this all started, I was able to acquire an email list with every single college coach in the country. So I just fired out an email to each coach and basically told our situation and to call me or text me. And for the most part, there was an opening at UNLV. There was the opening in a tournament down in Stetson. But there wasn't a whole lot as far as opponents that were looking to come here. And we really wanted to try to do all we could to play uptown. We'd sold tickets, we promoted it. The Knights had worked extremely hard to host us, and we want our players to have that experience. So we wanted to do all we could, and then about 11 o'clock at night, Wednesday night, I got a text message from an assistant coach at Rhode Island. They lost their series at Hofstra, and he said, if you have some, asked us where we were. I said, can you talk? And then about 11 o'clock at night, Coach Vance and I have started talking and breaking it down for what both teams would need as far as trying to make this happen. And then Coach Serrato and I got on the call yesterday morning about 9 a.m. And with the help of Darren Spees and Reagan Hill and the Knights and a lot of people behind the scenes, including URI's administration and multiple bus companies, we have Rhode Island rolling down here to play 3 games. So it's pretty incredible, really, all the obstacles that we had to overcome in a 24-hour window to make this happen. But man, it was great seeing the looks on our guys' faces when we were able to tell them that we were going to play baseball this weekend and we're going to go play in Truist Field. And everybody needs good news right now. Like everybody needs good. There's no such thing as too much good news right now. So we're excited. And Rhode Island's they're a heck of a team. They're on a 6-game win streak. There's prior to our coaching staff being here, that when Charlotte was in the A10, there's a long history of heated battles between these two programs. And just getting to know Coach Serrato the last 24 hours, we've probably talked on the phone or texted 20 times. You can just tell he's a very respected coach, and then that program has been at a high level for a long time. So it'll be exciting. It'll be a great weekend of baseball, and we'll tee it tomorrow. First game of a doubleheader at 1:30.
There were some good matchups with Rhode Island back in the day. Kevin, you're the one that's going to remember this. I might be remembering it wrong. Was it Rhode Island that we scored the run on the sac fly from third, where the guy got stuck in the chain link fence over there where the practice facility is now? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No, I don't believe that was the game.
That not Rhodey? Okay, that was an A10 game though. Coach is looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, the guy went over there to catch a foul ball, and that was a chain link fence instead of the batting facility there, and we scored easily, and mainly because the guy had his jersey, the button went up over the top of the chain link fence, and he couldn't get out of the fence. Maybe that wasn't Rhode Island, but it was an A10 game. I remember that. No, I don't know. Or maybe that was, maybe that was Rhode Island. Remember the guy that on the last out caught the foul ball running away from home, and he shouldn't have. He just should have let it drop. But since he caught it, we scored the walk-off run or whatever. That might have been
tag. Yeah.
Whatever. We did have some good games with Rhodey, I promise.
Well, you're talking about the game at Truist Park tomorrow. It looks like it's just about sold out. Since this morning, looks like they've opened up some new seats called the drink rail seating in the concourse and the home run porch. So looks like that's all that's remaining. The home run club seats are available and a couple of standing room only seats. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, go ahead to the Charlotte Knights website and grab a couple seats and come out to the ballpark tomorrow for 2 games. And after both games, you can go out on the field and play catch. If you can make it through both games of the doubleheader. I think the first game's 9 and the second game's 7 innings, right, Coach?
Correct. Yep.
And I was promised a Robert Woodard fastball, right?
Yeah, we use the term fastball loosely, but yeah.
Like I'm getting a Robert Woodard heater tomorrow. That's happening. Yeah. Kevin, did you say those seats that were opened up? What'd you call them? Drink rail seats?
Yeah, there's a concourse drink rail seating, which is the bar area behind the concourse seating, and then the home run porch drink rail seating, which is behind those sections out in the outfield. Just a standing room only behind the seating area. So looks like they're getting as many people as safely possible to see the Niners play tomorrow. So should be a good crowd. Looking forward to that.
Now, it's not me and you because we already have tickets, right? But, I mean, we know some people that, like, drink rail tickets would be, like, right up their alley, right? I mean, we're not going to call their names here, but we know those people. So, and if they don't have tickets yet and they're listening, they need to go get those because that would be their thing. Kevin, you're all over these numbers. At 30%, what's that get us at Truist? Any idea?
I think it's roughly 3,000 because I think it's a 10,000 or roughly 10,000 seat ballpark. I don't know what, including the standing room only, but we're looking at around 3,000 people at the ballpark tomorrow. That's a really good crowd for a college baseball game.
That's going to feel huge. I mean, that's going to feel like a lot of people there. So that'll be a good feeling, I think, to have that. And the weather looks pretty decent too. So maybe a little chilly, but sunshine. So should be a good time. we were talking about Rhode Island. You mentioned, Kevin, and what you said as well. I mean, they're not a slouch team. I mean, they've got. I know that they opened up. They've been on TV a little bit. I've seen them. They opened up at East Carolina. I watched a couple of their games where they got swept, but they took 2 or 3 from ODU too. So this should be a good measuring stick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we've obviously watched a good amount of film on them the last 2 days, and talked to some opponents, and it's a reoccurring theme. What every one of their opponents from previous games haven't given up a whole bunch of information other than they just say, man, that's about as gritty and tough as a team as you're going to play this year. So we are well aware of how good of a team Rhode Island has and how tough they are, and it's going to be a good challenge. Our guys are ready to bring it.
Now, and we saw your rotation. Looks like we're doing things a little differently, not drastically differently, but we're going McGowan and Brooks tomorrow with Sunday TBD. Yeah, we are. We, I think everybody saw we got Andrew back out of the pen on Tuesday, and I've just always been working with pitchers over this number of years. I just think there's certain guys when we're working on some things or tweaking some things, or maybe if they have as a starter maybe has 2 outings that doesn't go maybe how he wants it to. Sometimes I think just the best thing you can do is run him back out there. And, obviously, I don't think Andrew's pleased with how the outing went on Tuesday, but it can only help him as far as, getting, the things that we're working on to get him back to where he was week 1 and week 2. He's that much closer having gotten out there on Tuesday. So he'll be available for us out of the pen tomorrow. I mean, we've got 16 innings. We've got 2 games. If he doesn't throw tomorrow, then he could start game 3. But we're just really going to kind of go into tomorrow, focused on game 1 obviously first, and then game 1 second, and then we'll see where we're at as far as game 3. The last thing we really want to do is try to hold one of our best pitchers out for game 3 when we've got the first game might go extra innings, the second one might go extra innings, and if you're holding one of your best pitchers, and it just to us it makes sense to have Andrew available, and we think he's really close to breaking back out and getting back to where he was week 1, 2. He's getting close. Yeah, the most important game's always the next one, right?
That's right. Yep. you can get wrapped up, trying to look too far ahead or that sort of thing, and we try to do as best we can, just staying present and trying to win the one at hand. Well,
as you mentioned, you don't want to look too far ahead. So now that you said that, that's what I'm going to ask you to do.
All right.
Coming off this weekend, we're next Tuesday, we've got Appalachian State coming to the brand new ballpark in downtown Kannapolis. So we're spending an awful lot of time in Pro Parks here, and I know you guys took a tour of that facility recently. So what can you tell us about App State?
Well, I mean, like you said, we toured. Darren Speeds and I went over there a few weeks ago, and we toured Atrium Ballpark, and gosh, it's nice. I mean, it is brand new. We'll be the first baseball game to ever play there, and we've got a great kind of in-state rivalry going with Appalachian State and multiple sports. I know Coach Smith with them is a heck of a coach, really respected in our profession. Their teams are always well coached and talented. So they're a good App State team. They've got they're pretty balanced team top to bottom, just offensively, defensively, and on the mound. Not sure yet who they will start. We'll likely stay on schedule with Morozes on Tuesday. He's been throwing the ball so well for us against Tennessee and then again against Wake Forest, and he's been tremendous for us the last 2 Tuesdays. So, barring some sort of a change, which, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, things can change on a dime. But, we're excited to get out there on Tuesday. I grew up playing Little League Baseball down the road at South Park Youth Association. And growing up, we would have our all-star teams in the summer would always drive up to Kannapolis and play the district championships there. And those were just special memories for me going up there and playing in those tournaments. And Kannapolis was always the team to beat. And, it introduced me to Sundrop and Cheerwine and Whataburger and, all that stuff up, all that, that stuff up there. There's just a lot of history. There's a lot of history, and it'll be a great night of baseball for us to get out there and compete against App State. We're excited.
Coach, that game's actually sold out. I think some tickets went on sale to general public on Tuesday and at 12 o'clock, and I believe it sold out at 12:05. So the ballpark's a little smaller than Truist Field, so I think there's about 1,500 or so tickets sold maybe to that. So it's still a great college baseball crowd, and definitely looking forward to that Tuesday. I know the players are looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, Niner Nation's been awesome as far as coming out strong with purchasing tickets for both of these games, and getting to our capacity here at the Hayes each game, and our guys feel it. I mean, our guys absolutely feel the energy when we've got whether it's 181 here or it's 3,000 at Truist or it's 1,000 at Kannapolis, however many it is. I mean, our guys feel the energy and the support, and it's much appreciated. And it's also a sign of us continuing to try to move in the right direction as a country. And so it's all good. It's all positive.
Are you guys going to get to use the facilities like the locker room, et cetera, at Atrium, or do you have to get ready on campus?
We'll ride over, ready to go. We'll have limited capacity as far as our guys that are going in there, just because we don't want to have our guys crowded into locker rooms and stuff like that. But we'll have limited capacity. Same thing at Truist as far as the locker room and stuff like that. But we're just always keeping everybody's health and safety at the forefront, trying to avoid crowded spaces and that sort of thing. So. Yeah. But it's really nice. I mean, there's tons of, the amenities are off the charts, and, Darren and I, at Atrium Ballpark, we went up there and saw the suite level and the restaurant. And I know you guys have gone there for meals with family and stuff like that. It's just a tremendous ballpark, and they did such a great job of designing it. And, I'm excited for our fan base to get to watch us play there. It'll be good.
I asked about the locker room because Trevor gave us a tour, and man, that thing's nice. I didn't want to leave. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. All right, so we got good stuff to look forward to. Let's go back a little bit. Yeah. Let's talk about last week. So we got 4 games to talk about, and everybody can read box scores, so everybody knows what happened. We're gonna dig a little deeper here, though, because we had a rough series at East Carolina. Unfortunately, got swept there, but played 3 competitive games. There were some things to talk about there. There's some things to like there. Another tough game on the road again at an ACC opponent against Wake Forest. Another competitive game that we wound up on the short end of the stick on. So we're going to dwell on the positive, because that's what we do here at Diamond Niner Report and Diamond Niners Weekly. So let's go back to that ECU series, Coach. Talk to us about what you saw from your team, and what do you take from a series like that?
Well, I mean, I think for us, the mindset going into a series like that is, in the last 6 years, I think East Carolina's played in 2 super regionals. So from our perspective, I think we try to somewhat approach that as a super regional, really. And because I'm just always been a believer that if you're always going in, practicing with the mindset of the highest level or a challenging level, whether it's when we play tomorrow and at Truist Field, like that's probably the biggest stadium we'll play in all year. So TD Ameritrade is 25,000 people. So you need to already like practice in your mind, like this is like if I was at TD Ameritrade, or that East Carolina series is like a super regional. And so that way when playing those games, hopefully in the future, we've already tested ourselves. And yeah, I mean, to your point, the series didn't go how we wanted. And if that had been a super regional, then East Carolina would have won it. and they would have advanced. But fortunately, it's the middle of March. It's not the middle of June. So we don't lose sight of that. I couldn't be more.
Yeah, that was internet world. That's not producer Brad's fault. Probably mine. I don't know.
We went into that series kind of with that mindset. Let's approach it as if it's a super regional and our season's on the line. And we had a sense of urgency, but East Carolina's a really good team, and they had that sense of urgency as well. And part of being a great team is playing at a level at which you don't beat yourself, and you force the other team to make mistakes. And pretty much all 3 games, East Carolina was one notch better on the mound, one notch better at the plate, and one notch better in the field. And, again, it's just a credit to them and their program. They're a really good team. We felt like we were right there. And, I saw the looks on our guys' faces at the end of the series, and they were, I hate to use the word, but they were pissed. And because our players work extremely hard to prepare for those opportunities. And we felt like we came up short, and we're not happy about it. But, same thing Tuesday night. But here it's baseball, and you go back to practice, which we did on yesterday. We had a great practice yesterday, just got off the field today, had a great practice today. And, here we go. Here comes the next opponent. So, we want to be playing our best baseball in June. And, the thing is, we know, we hung right there with them, but we know that wasn't our best level of play. It's not like East Carolina, they played great, and Wake Forest, they played great, but we're whether it's Tennessee or it's, William and Mary or Morehead State, or, we've seen this group of guys play at another level. And it's just about staying with the process, staying focused, having a sense of urgency, and looking to improve and get back to that level more consistently. So, that's our approach. That's what we're doing. And we're excited to get back out there tomorrow.
Yeah, that ACU series, that was as a fan, that was entertaining to watch. It was good to see 2 great ball teams going head to head. 1 or 2 pitches making a difference in the baseball game, especially on Saturday and Sunday. I really enjoyed the series. I didn't really enjoy the results, but the series was good. It's good baseball, and I think we're right on the edge of breaking through. It feels like we were just one hit away, one pitch away from making a different outcome in that series. So, like I said, it was entertaining to watch. And same through the Wake Forest game. Seems like we were right in it the whole game. 1 or 2 pitches away, 1 or 2 swings of the bat away. Those are good. That's good competition. Those are good teams. Both of those teams had a lot of preseason publicity in the national rankings. We're right there with them, and definitely excited. Looking forward in the games coming up the rest of the way.
There was some good stuff come out of that, though. Some good individual things. Kevin, starting with McCabe on Friday night, what was that stat you had on Big Maple? I mean, you had a good one.
I think they had in the release. It was McCabe. Dave McCabe was the first. He homered from both sides of the plate on Friday. It was the first 49er to do that since our friend T.J. Nichting did it in 2017. So that was pretty neat to hear that.
Did Sean Fox effort that? Did Sean Fox dig that out?
Yeah, we'll give Sean credit for that one.
We're going with Sean on that. There's the attaboy for Sean. That's a pretty cool stat. It was fun to watch. and it definitely got the attention of folks in Greenville too, because Big Maple saw very little to offer at for the rest of the weekend. They decided to get away from him, and for good reason. That was cool. We were down. We had a good starting pitching all weekend, frankly, but we were there on Saturday for Bryce McGowan's start. And Bryce was in a special place on Saturday. I mean, he had his stuff working, and it was really special to watch, Coach.
Yeah, no, I said this after the game. I don't know in my time coaching that you're mature and progress as much as Bryce has in the last year. I mean, not only just physically with the way the ball comes out of the hand and stuff, but just his poise, his presence, his pulse. It is, all those things are getting to another level, and really each time out. So to your point, I mean, he was a warrior. He put us in a position to win. It didn't go our way, but he's our whole team feels really good when Bryce is on the mound, and he earned.
I don't have a magic button that's causing that. I don't know what's going on.
Don't worry, Brad. We're definitely not going to fire you, because that'll be the end of the show.
I just.
But what I was saying was, I went out there and took a mound visit, and it was kind of a pivotal situation, and I think it was first and second and 1 out type of thing, or 2 outs, and I said what I said on the mound, and you can tell a lot on the mound visit. You can tell a lot just by the way a pitcher looks in his eyes and his demeanor. And I went back to the dugout. I told the coaching staff, I said, man, I was like, Bryce has got it. He's got it. He's got the look. And he got out of that jam and got us back in the dugout. And, he's got it. He's got that it factor, that look that, there's no jam or situation that is above his ability to get out when he digs down and digs deep. And he did it. He did it in a tough environment against a really good team, and it bodes well for him and us moving forward.
Yeah, Coach,
would you say that he had the eye of the tiger?
Sure, we can say that. Yeah.
Coach, I was watching at home on Saturday, and that was the first time I'd seen the center field camera on Bryce. And I remember you talking about him before the season, with his slider especially, but his stuff was looking really good Saturday, and with slider, changeup, and the fastball, he was hitting the spots with the fastball a little bit, and that, like I said, it's the first time I've seen him from the center field cam, and I was very impressed. He was making things tough for those ECU hitters, and there was a great pitcher's duel. Like I said, this weekend was a fun series to watch, and Saturday was a great pitcher's duel.
Yeah, you mixing some good curveballs too. I mean, that was the best his 4-pitch mix had been with all 4 pitches this past weekend. So that bodes well.
So, Kevin, I guess it's okay to congratulate Austin Knight on his hit streak now, right? We did that on Twitter.
Right.
We can do that here. We didn't want to mention it before because, you don't mess with a streak, right?
Yep.
Right. That's right. He started the season out 12 straight games with a hit. I think he's hit in 14 out of 15 now. So he only missed 1 game, the Saturday ECU game, and he's still rolling.
Yeah. A couple more guys to just shout out, because we try to mention, so many guys everybody works so hard and everybody's deserving of praise, but a couple guys that have kind of quietly been getting it done. Aaron McKeithen behind the plate has been just a rock star. He's also been getting it done at the plate. Everybody talks about the job he's doing behind the plate, but he's doing a really fantastic job at the plate as well. And don't sleep on Jack Dragum, because Jack's defense at short and his arm, I don't even know what to tell you, folks. Go see it. He makes plays over there that pretty darn impressive. And now he's starting to get his bat working, because Jack started off a little slow with the bat, but he's gotten it cranked up. And he's a lot of fun to watch. I don't want to say this in the wrong way. So Jack, if you're listening, I'm definitely not sleeping on you, but he was a guy that was a little under the radar, at least for me. I'll just throw myself out there. For me, Jack was a little under the radar with these incoming guys, and the guys that we kind of knew what we had, but he's not under the radar with me anymore. Jack's balling over there at shortstop.
Jack can really play, and he is, to your point, he is a lot of fun to watch play shortstop. I mean, his hands are, really, really good. His footwork's great, and he can throw from every slot. I mean, he can just make some throws and some plays that a lot of guys can't make, and he's so steady. And to your point, about the offense, I mean, we recruited him as an offensive middle infielder. I mean, he put up big numbers at Lewisburg last year, hit for average, hit for power. And so we know it's in there. And you guys, I mean, everybody affiliated with the program knows how hard B-Rob works with our hitters. And, I mean, he's been working with Jack, early and often and late, these last few weeks. And, to B-Rob's credit and to Jack's credit, they've worked extremely hard on some things to clean some things up. And the results have come a little, more the last couple of weeks. And it's big for us, I mean, when we're firing all cylinders, we're getting production at the top and the middle and the bottom of the lineup. And we haven't, hasn't been as much of the case the last 4 or 5 games, but we've shown the ability to do it. So, to your point, we get Jack going, keep Jack going on offense, then, the run production will come more offensively.
Kevin, here's my story from Saturday at ECU. Besides the picture of the donuts that I tweeted out after the game, which, by the way, that was like our most popular tweet in that day, was about donuts. apparently people really like tweets with pictures of donuts, because the Twitter traffic on that tweet was phenomenal. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to get a picture of Nate Furman eating a Krispy Kreme donut, and that will probably be the biggest Twitter post ever.
Yeah,
that's what will happen. But here we go for the video. Here is an AAC baseball. This ball landed in the row right behind us, and my daughter. And I saw this. And I knew it wasn't going to hit us, but my daughter was unconvinced. It landed in the row behind us. It was an ECU player that hit this foul ball. It was definitely not one of our guys, and it certainly was not David McCabe that hit this ball. You know how I know that? The ball's still round. So if Big Maple had torn into that, there'd be a big old flat spot inside of it or something like that. So that's what happened. That's what happened in Greenville. The thing is my wife's a little gun shy now, because first weekend she got hit by a foul ball in her, while we were standing on the hill, in her calf. She actually moved into it. She was trying to avoid it, and she ran into a foul ball. So there you go. That was Greenville on Saturday. Fun time.
All right. Yeah.
Don't look at me like that, Kevin. You know I tell stories like this.
That's good. It's all good.
So it is all good. So now let's move. Let's touch on Wake Forest, because we got through that ECU series. There was really, the weather on Tuesday was kind of iffy. I don't know if that game was ever in doubt or not from you guys' perspective, but weather wasn't great on Tuesday. They have an all turf field, so that helps. Ended up playing in Winston-Salem on a kind of a cloudy, dreary Tuesday night. Another fantastic start from Austin Morozes. You mentioned that. Another game where there were a couple key moments where the game could have gone either way, and they made, kind of like you mentioned, that one notch with East Carolina. When they needed that one play, they kind of got it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Seymour hits a 2-strike, 2-out pitch in the gap, score that run early on, and then they get another 2-out hit, I think, in the second, and then Spencer Giesing, he just looked he looked unhittable and dialed in. And we go to elevate a fastball and just kind of pull it down a little bit too much. And unfortunately, that happens occasionally, and there's never a good time for it. And against Muntz, and he put a good swing on it to go up again. And we run Lindsey back out there down 3-1, and he's easily one of our best pitchers, and just trying to get him back on track. And I think we walk two guys on 3-2 and 3-1, and they manufacture our run, and here we go. So the final score is 4-1. So I mean, you're talking like 5 pitches in the course of that game that go the difference between us probably being tied 1-1 and going to extra innings versus losing 4-1. I mean, it's that thin as far as margin of error for us right now. And we've got to keep working and keep plugging, and we're confident that we'll get there. But those are certainly games that we go into wanting to win, expecting to win, and it's frustrating when you don't. I know I speak for them because it's a competitive group.
Coach, we went into this week, I think we were leading the country in home runs. You're not going to sneak up on anybody when you're top of the list like that, when leading the country in home runs. Have you noticed teams pitching you guys differently over the past week or so since the offensive numbers have been out there? And then the scouting reports out there as well, but when you get a lot of publicity, it's hard to ignore the team that's leading the country in homers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know.
Stop retweeting that stuff, Kevin.
I don't know if we're really getting pitched much differently, other than we face really good arms that are talented, and they're going to be high picks. And Cooch Manor, he's arguably American Conference Pitcher of the Year this year probably, and then Carson Wisenhunt. I mean, if you see a better lefty this year than him, then that pitcher is going to go pretty high, because Wisenhunt's, I mean, that's real stuff right there. The changeup's real, the breaker's real, with good heat, with good velocity. We had their starter Smith on the ropes in the first inning, and kind of let him off the hook there. It felt like that if we had thrown one more punch there in the first, we'd probably get to their bullpen a little bit earlier. And to his credit, he made a pitch and got the ground ball to keep it at 1 run in the first, and got there. So I don't really know as much. I don't think it's as much as teams really pitching as much differently as we've just, between East Carolina and Wake Forest. I mean, look at those arms that we faced. I mean, they're really, really good. I mean, there's 2 freshmen that came out of the bullpen for Wake Forest that are, every bit of 94 to 97, one lefty and one righty. And, it's with good off speed. So it's, we're facing really good teams and really good pitchers. And again, right now, last week we were 1 notch short, but that experience really is only going to help us, I believe, in the long term. And we've certainly learned some things. We've certainly changed some things that as far as just some things we're emphasizing as a program. We're trying to get back to a little bit more plate discipline, a little bit more decision making, as far as emphasizing drawing walks and getting on base. Really looking for better pitches to drive versus trying to force things a little bit. I felt like maybe we were trying to force things a little bit too much offensively. But that's pretty natural to do over the course of the season. So, if we can get back to kind of the basics of pitch selection and recognition and staying with the approach, then I think we'll get back on track here.
Coach, you think that's a little dynamic with this year in college baseball? Like, what I mean to say is that lefty for Wake out of the pen, that freshman lefty was going 97. Most years is a 18-year-old left-handed 97-mile-per-hour hurler getting to college baseball, or depends on the situation, but that seems to be maybe a potential side effect of a 5-round draft.
No, absolutely. And there's a ton of talent in college baseball right now, and as much as ever, and it's going to be that way really for the next few years, because even I think this year the draft is still shortened, and there's a lot of guys in college baseball, frankly, that shouldn't be. But it's great for the game. It's great. It's great for our hitters to see those arms and because when to play in June, you gotta be able to beat those arms. And if you hadn't ever seen them before, which our guys have facing, our pitchers all scrimmage in the fall and preseason. But if you're, those are the types of arms you're gonna have to beat, in the biggest games at the end of the season. So it can only help us getting looks at it in the middle of June.
Yeah, 97 miles an hour from a left-hander. That'll get you paid.
It absolutely will. Yep.
Get you paid. All right. Well, Coach, let's transition over. And Kevin, you want to walk us through the weekly awards? I know Coach Woody and the staff put these out every week, and they've got them ready to go. So you want to walk us through, and let's see what we got for this week.
All right. Yeah, I think we missed them last week. We had a show from Greenville, and we didn't get to the awards last week. But each week you guys do these awards based on last week, I guess, from Tennessee and the ECU series. So you guys do a leadership effort attitude award. Coach, who stood out with that award this week?
Yeah, we gave that to Brooksy just for his just the way he goes about his business. I mean, pre-start, practice, weight room, and then you put him in there, and I mean, the kid. I mean, we felt like all of our pitchers really battled in Greenville, but you could see he was at the back end of his outing, and I took him out and visit. Honestly, I didn't know if we were making a change or not. I kind of wanted to read Brooksy, and before I even came out, he looked at me and shook his head and was like, "Don't come out here." I'm not like, "Don't come out here." And as a coach, I love that. I'm not always going to listen, but that's what you want from your pitchers, is you want them to have that fight and that tenacity. And Brooksy had it on Sunday, and went out there, like I said, really unsure, and he gave me the look, "Coach, I got this. Like this is our game. This is my game. Like, go back to the dugout," basically. And so went back to the dugout. He attacks the hitter, works at the 3-2, gets a foul ball, and punches him out to end the inning. And I felt like that was in the the 6th or the 7th there, and it just it got the momentum on our side. Obviously not enough, but those types of that competitive fire can certainly translate to other facets of the game. And I thought Brooksy, put us on his back Sunday.
Yeah, I think the announcers thought you were taking him out at that point as well, but you didn't. And like I said, got our momentum back on our side. So yeah, you're right. He did pitch a great game on Sunday. Fun to watch. Always good to see Matt Brooks on the mound doing his thing. The next award, the defensive player of the week. We had a lot of great defensive efforts over the last week or so, all season really. So I know you guys had a lot to choose from. So who was your defensive player of the week this week or last week, Coach?
We gave it to Gino. Gino at second base. I mean, when against Tennessee, Carson Johnson slated to start. Tweak something in pregame, and we've got to make a quick change. And we talk our players all the time about us, staying ready so you don't have to get ready. And Gino, 20 minutes before first pitch, finds out he's playing. Boom, double play in the first inning, I think it was, against Tennessee, and
it's a glove flip.
Just an unreal catch there at East Carolina, I think on Saturday or Sunday.
That was Sunday. I was going to ask you about that play.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was – I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it, really. Just fly ball goes up to left, and I think Jack thought that our left fielder was in a better position. But, with the information that Coach Bick and our staff has, it's we had the left fielder deeper and shaded more in the left center gap, because that's where that hitter tends to hit the ball. And so Jack goes to deke the runner on a hit and run by acting like he's going to field a ground ball, which, in some cases is the right play. In this case, it was not. And Gino stayed, to his credit, man, he stayed with it and just, came out of nowhere and dove in. You got a second baseman diving full stretch in left field, catching a fly ball like that, and it was just a tremendous play, and he's just getting, he's an extremely talented player who's a great kid, and we always knew good things were going to happen. More opportunities gotten, and he's done a great job for us defensively.
The way that play unfolded, the camera guys were they were a little late getting on what was really happening, understandably, I think, for the way that play unfolded. But they got it on Gino. They got the camera on Gino in time to be able to see him fully extended out in left field getting that ball. And I was just like, what's he doing over there? Where did he even come from? How do you do that? It was just like you said, it sounds like my impression of it on TV and your impression of it live were the same thing. How do you do that? Where did he come from?
Special play for sure.
Yeah, and he's also doing that at the plate as well. I think ever since he's been in the game, at Tennessee game, he's had a hit in every single game on a 5-game hit streak going into this weekend. So doing it all over the place, Gino Groover. Moving on to the next award, speaking of at the plate, the Quality At Bat Award for the week. Who did you guys single out with that?
Yeah, Aaron McKeithen led our team in quality at bats. He's doing so many things right now. He was also our position player of the week just for everything. He's calling. He and Coach Miney are calling great games and keeping us right in there. And he's blocking everything. He's throwing guys out, and to the quality of bat. He just every time he's in the box, we think good things are going to happen right now. And so he's certainly 15 games in, shown to be a really well-rounded player and a great leader. So it's fun to watch.
I think he's won that multiple times, right, this year.
Yeah, yep. He's been very consistent.
All right. Moving on to the next award, you guys give out the whip leader. Who led the league? Who led the team in whip?
Yeah, so
last week.
That was Moroses. Moroses was our walks and hits per innings pitch leader. He was 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk with a 1.0 whip. He was also our starting pitcher of the week for his performance against Tennessee, where he threw 6 innings, 69 pitches, and didn't allow him run, and only walked 1 hitter. So he was both our starting pitcher and our whip leader of the week. And it's just been great to see him. He works extremely hard and was very highly recruited out of San Jacinto, and our coaching staff is just thrilled he's here, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow and improve each and every time out. He really didn't throw a whole lot in the fall while he was training and building up, so he's still getting game acclimated to game speed after missing a bunch of time this fall for us, but he's been great. He's a huge piece of the puzzle for us and our team.
Yeah, you're right. He's looked good. He's progressively getting better and getting extended into games. I'm looking forward to seeing him the rest of the way. So moving on, I think the only award we have left is reliever of the week. Who do you have as a reliever of the week out of the bullpen, Coach?
Yeah, our reliever is Ryan Chanskowski. He came into the fire twice, 2 appearances for 2 innings pitched, didn't give up a hit, didn't walk a guy, and punched out 2. And those, the 2 games that he pitched in, we obviously didn't win either one of them, but we're right there in the 9th inning to get a guy on and have a big hit to tie it up there, because Chance makes some big pitches for us to keep it there at 3-1 or down 2 or down 3. So, Chance was our reliever of the week for his effort Friday and Sunday.
That was, and those were key spots right there. And it's really got to be comforting to have a guy in the pen with his experience to tap into, because That's another pleasant byproduct of this season, having somebody with Chance's experience to go to in a tight spot like that. So good stuff.
Chance is he's a huge part of our program. Just obviously when he's on the mound, but when he's not on the mound too, he's a big time leader for us, and he kept us right there and put us in striking distance with the pitches that he made.
Okay. Well, Kevin, you want to do our Ask Coach Woody? Coach Woody's so good at answering questions that he's actually already touched on this, but we're going to revisit it. You want to get us our Ask Coach Woody question this week?
All right, I'll do it. This week, our question comes from our friend Joe Bridgman. He was curious as to why Andrew Lindsay came in relief on Tuesday versus Wake Forest. Coach, your thoughts on bringing in Andrew Lindsay on Tuesday?
Yeah, Andrew threw about 65 pitches on Friday in game one, and traditionally on a 7-day pitcher schedule, traditionally a pitcher will throw his bullpen on day 4 or day 5. So, a 7-day week. So, theoretically, with Andrew throwing 65 pitches on Friday, obviously his workload was less than we would have hoped and liked. So he wasn't quite nearly as sore from the outing and felt good, better than usual on his day 4, really, and was ready to go. So, again, like I touched on earlier, I'm a big believer, whether it's a starter or a reliever, that, if a pitcher doesn't have a good outing, one of the best things you can do is try to get him back out there as soon as you can. So we wanted to get Andrew back out there. We had already made the decision really Monday that he was going to, either come out of the pen on Saturday or start game 3. So we'd already made the rotation decision as a coaching staff. So we knew that he wasn't going to have to pitch out of our bullpen Tuesday and then start again on Friday. So we knew he was going to have more rest.
What he said.
We're getting like a Diamond Niner techno remix going here on the podcast.
I'm about to start dancing. I'm going to start dancing soon.
Club edition, I guess. But yeah, so we knew that Andrew was going to be able to come out of the bullpen, fresh and feeling good on Tuesday, and then not have the stress of making a start on Friday. So, really the plan was to start on Sunday. So really didn't want Andrew going 9 days without pitching in a game. Because that's not really a good thing either, is to have somebody, who's on a routine. And then a lot of people, because a lot of people would think that, if you pitch every Friday and then, you get an extra day the next or 2 that, that you should be fresher theoretically, but that can actually have the opposite effect. You can actually be a little bit too fresh, or it's been a little bit too long since you've been out there. And, it's just not making excuses, but it can affect you a little bit. And so we want to get him back out there on Tuesday. We're knowing that he's either going to come out of our bullpen in a key role, leverage role on Saturday, which he might do tomorrow, or he's going to, potentially start for us on Sunday and try to win a series, sweep a series. So, Andrew's a big part of our team and our success. So that was the thought process.
All right, Joe, there you go. There's your answer. So we did things a little differently this week. We've kind of basically already done our Charlotte 49ers Grand Slam Club look at the week ahead, but we can still plug the Grand Slam Club because, well, it's our show and we can do whatever we want to, and we want to plug the Grand Slam Club, so we're going to do it. Grand Slam Club's awesome. If you're not a member, go join it. There you go. Let's take a look at Conference USA before we start winding this thing down. We're at the point, we're a week away from conference play. So it's kind of time to start thinking about some of these conference metrics. As a league, we're 94-76. I guess it would be 95-76. One game has gone final this afternoon already. in out of conference play. And if you start looking at RPI, we're ninth in conference RPI. I think I saw, Kevin, you saw this as well. I think was it Kendall Rogers mentioned Conference USA as a two bid league in his opinion at this point. Was that Kendall Rogers?
Yes, they had their weekly discussion on, and they talked about Conference USA a little bit, and they mentioned Charlotte among a few other teams as potentially getting multi-bids out of the conference this year. And if you look at the RPI, we've got 5 teams with top 100 RPI, so I wouldn't see why we wouldn't have multi-bids in conference this year. It's still early, but we're getting ready. Like you said, we're getting ready to get into conference play and beat up on each other. So the conference RPI ranking probably won't change a whole lot once conference play gets rolling.
Some good wins last week. I mean, look at the week Louisiana Tech had. They got a win. They picked up a win over number 1 Arkansas, and then they backed that up with a win over number 4 Ole Miss. Every time it was starting to look like, and they're stumbling a little bit right now, but it was starting to look like FAU was going to be like maybe they're the team to beat, and they're still good. But don't forget about Louisiana Tech. Those dudes, they are coming. The other thing is, I hate to mention this, but what's Old Dominion right now? Are they 12-4? Yeah, Old Dominion's 12-4. That's Niner fans that got to keep an eye on the Monarchs because they're almost a quarter of our schedule, it seems like, with 8 games against the Monarchs. So they're one of those teams that we're going to be competing with for seeding. And heck, Coach, how's this sound? We might be competing with ODU and FAU for bids. How about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, the league is deep. We know that, and those teams you mentioned. I mean, Old Dominion's a complete team. They've got a good frontline arms that I think they're right behind us in home runs. So they've got it offensively as well. And then you mentioned Louisiana Tech. They're a very offensive team that can beat anybody. They've shown that. They beat Arkansas. They beat Ole Miss. You got Southern Miss. That I feel like a Southern Miss pitcher is winning pitcher of the week every week. They got really good arms.
This is hurting producer Brad's soul. I can see it. It's hurting his soul.
Yeah, I mean, FAU, FIU, Middle Tennessee's having a really nice start as well. So, it's going to come down to the wire. We got a lot of baseball left to play. We come down to the wire.
Now, there's my dog. That's not part of the remix. That's just my dog. What Niner fans need to pay attention to with Louisiana Tech, we're not on our schedule, all right, because of the divisional play deal. But you better be sure that if you're going to win the conference, you're going to have to see them come conference tournament time. And, oh, by the way, Kevin, where's the conference tournament at this year?
Ruston, Louisiana.
Ruston, Louisiana.
Yeah. Sticking with Conference USA, there's a few key matchups this week. It seems like there's a AAC Conference USA challenge this weekend. FIU is down in that the tournament you mentioned in Stetson. They played Wichita State today and beat them. I think it was 8-1 or 8-2, something like that. But they're playing Wichita State and Stetson down in that tournament. Middle Tennessee's at Memphis. FAU is at South Florida, and Louisiana Tech's at Tulane. So it's kind of like a Conference USA versus AAC challenge. A lot of games to keep our eyes on as Niner fans and fans of college baseball and Conference USA. So it should be a fun weekend.
Yeah, that FIU game went final 11-2.
11-2, okay.
So big offensive output there from FIU. Good stuff. It's exciting. This is a good time of year. Conference play coming ahead. Not that the out of conference stuff isn't fun. I mean, it is, but when it's the conference time, it's like go time, right? That's when you're doing the real stuff. Good stuff. All right, we're going to start wrapping this thing up, folks. Sorry we were a day late, and sorry that this has been the remix version. And Sorry, my dog started barking. I don't know what else to tell you. It's 2021. We're just having a year here. Coach Woody, your last thoughts as we head into another big week of 49ers baseball.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely thankful for our administration, the Knights, Rhode Island baseball. Heck, they've been on a bus for 12 to 14 hours today. I can't even really explain how many people behind the scenes it takes to put on, to reschedule a weekend series at two different sites and Truist Field and get through all the protocol hurdles and travel hurdles and everything it takes. It just takes a lot of great work from everyone, and I'm very appreciative of everyone involved. For this weekend, it's exciting. Our guys are excited. We didn't get to play at Truist Field last year. The season was canceled right before we got to go up there. I think, we'd be 5 days before we were supposed to play Wake Forest up there. So, there's 4 coaches on staff from the city of Charlotte, and a lot of, our guys have never, haven't played up there in 2 years for the returners. So it'll be a special weekend for us against a really good opponent, in front of as many fans as we've played in front of in a long time. So we're excited.
Kevin, your last thoughts before we do this.
Well, we certainly are excited as well. First opportunity to pay and buy a ticket to see the Niners play. It's going to be several thousand in attendance. Looks like a pretty good day weather-wise. Maybe a little chilly, but they're going to have all they can. They got me on the remix. Sorry about that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I wish it was a triple header because I'd stay there all day if I could. But it's gonna be a fun day tomorrow, and I can't wait to see you guys knock it out. You mentioned 4 guys on the coaching staff, Charlotte natives. I know it's special to you guys to do this for the first time together, and we're looking forward to it. And can't wait to see you guys in action tomorrow.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this remix version of Diamond Niners Weekly. It's time to go jump on Roadie. We love hearing from you guys. Feel free to reach out through any of our social media platforms, or if you're old-fashioned like us, hey, we're actually going to be at a ballpark together this weekend. So stop by and say hello. Until next time, we're going to see you not at the Hayes, but at Truist Field and Atrium Health Ballpark.